This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with vocalist RALF SCHEEPERS of the German power metal act Primal Fear. If I knew absolutely nothing about Primal Fear, how would you describe the band's music to me?
Well, I mean, we haven't changed so much as we're doing this naturally. So it's pretty much like we always do, writing from our hearts. And yeah, it's great to have three writing members, Magnus, Matt, and me. The others are always invited to write. So that's became somehow our roadmap for the last 20 years. Let's say 25 years now. We're just writing whatever comes out of our heart. We don't have to invent something new. It's just coming because we do it naturally in that way. We've been influenced, of course, by the new wave of British heavy metal back in the days. But since then, I think we really have developed our own style. And you can really tell that this is a red line through all these 15 albums now.
Now, you mentioned the songwriting trio of yourself and Magnus and Matt. When it comes to composing songs, does everybody put together one song? Do those guys do the instruments and you do the vocals? How's it all come together?
Pretty diverse. I mean, we work on songs together, like in a meeting or swapping files, and I have a melody line and they compose the guitars, or vice versa. They have the guitars, they do, and they say, Ralph, it's your turn now. Sometimes songs are already prepared when Matt and Magnus worked on them alone as a duo, or Matt and me working alone. It's pretty much, yeah, swapping ideas around and working together on it as a team. Nowadays, it's so easy. And when you swap files on the internet, you don't have to be in the same room. Although we would love to do that too. I mean, I think one song, Heroes of Gods, were really composed together in the room. So great.
Well, you're getting ready to release your 15th studio album, Domination, on September 5th through Reigning Phoenix Music. Now, a band that's been around for almost 30 years, 15 albums under your belt, what inspires you to keep writing music? Because you could easily rest on your catalog and just do the nostalgia thing.
No, we're always keen to write in the end because we are creative musicians, and of course we will always want to go ahead and write songs. We have now 25 songs for the new album written, and 15 were chosen. 13 are going to be on this album, and there's 2 left for as a little bit of a candy later on. And of course the 10 which are left are not bad songs, but we always write new stuff and don't somehow pick up the old stuff we wrote. And sometime you can really somehow listen back and, oh, that song wasn't that bad 10 years ago, so maybe we'll pick up the idea again. But yeah, we always want to continue writing, because that's in our process, that's in our adrenaline, in our blood, that we write new music.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the songs from the new album, some that have been released ahead of time. Tell me a little bit about what inspired The Hunter.
Yes, I mean, you can see this is pretty much also very much science fiction based and influenced somehow by stuff out there you see on the movie or whatever, but you always write your own stories about several stuff. And The Hunter, for instance, is take care, I'm behind you, I'm the guy hunting you. So not to be taken too serious, but as you know what I mean, music is entertainment. And in this case, it's just an action, somehow entertainment in that.
Now, this album's not a concept album, is it? Because I feel like The Hunter's adventures start with the first track, and he could carry it throughout the whole album.
Yeah, it's not a concept. It's pretty much, it was never meant to be one. So it's pretty much diverse, and it's always difficult to put, if you have 15 songs or 13 songs, to put a following on the album, because that's really a talent on its own, and there's always Matt who's deciding in the end. It's not so easy because you can really destroy an album. You have the songs, can mix it up, and it's getting totally boring, but you have to have a certain following that is sounding changed and so forth, and makes it interesting for the listener as well. It's the same with the songs. Coming back to your question, this time it's not a concept, and we wanted to keep the stories diverse too. I mean, everybody's writing, when Matt is writing and me, and about the lyrics, we never somehow talk to each other, you have to write this, to write about this, or to write about that. It just write what comes in our mind.
Got another song that's available now, Far Away. It's about returning to lost love. Is there anything more to that song?
Yeah, it's pretty much the first track we released. So when it comes to the theme, it's not more than that. Like I said, it's too far away. I made a mistake, but it's always positive. Go ahead and live on. But of course, it was a very important song for us because it was the first single, and we wanted to show that Primal Fear is back with our trademark twin guitars and fast drumming and fast riffs and melodic vocals. That's what was our intention, to throw out the first single that people can see this is the roadmap for the new album.
Is it difficult picking songs you want to release to promote the album ahead of time? I feel like you got an album full of solid singles.
Yes, it was difficult, but like I said before, we had 25 to pick, and but we thought these are the strongest now. And it's not a bad sign. If you got somehow 13 songs, which could be easily singles. I mean, forget about the last one. Maybe, yes, the last one is just really a closing track, which is maybe a 13th single in the end. But yeah, they're pretty strong, and I totally agree. And thanks for the compliment, for the hidden compliment for that. And it's a strong album. I can only repeat, as everybody musician would say, the new baby is the most liked baby, but it's true. Yeah.
Now, one of the songs, I saw the title, I Am the Primal Fear. I'm like, they're doing the 80s cliche where the metal band names a song after themselves. But in my opinion, it's one of the best songs on the album.
Thank you. Yes, it is. It's very groovy, and yeah, it's a statement. Here I am. I'm your primal fear. You got to take care. So, and everybody has his own primal fear, but in this case, I am the primal fear. Whoever wrote the song, it was Matt. But I, of course, thought myself into the story. As a singer, you've got to transport the lyrics and the story behind it. That's what I did.
You have an instrumental track called Hallucinations on the album. Was that always meant to be an instrumental, or was it just something that couldn't be finished?
It was always meant to be an instrumental because it would make no sense. If the guys came up, hey Ralph, try to sing on it, because why? I mean, this is really, it's meant to be an instrumental, and it's good that we showcase Magnus on this album. Like he always was a composing member, coming back to the stage now, and that's his statement on the album. Here I am.
Now, artificial intelligence kind of bleeding into the music scene as of late. You got people using it for assisting them in songwriting. You got full bands and full albums that are fully AI generated. Have you experimented with AI at all in your songwriting?
No, that's not what we do. I downloaded an app and checked it out, and I totally hear the artificial stuff behind it. If you're really familiar with music, with listening to music, you can really tell that this is artificial, because it's always sounding a little bit cheap in terms of sound quality. But we never used AI to write songs. I mean, we have this album now, the cover, which is a hybrid of AI and personal talent from Death Milk Designs. And I am thinking that way, that if something is looking good and somebody is still behind it, it's not done in 5 minutes, it's really work behind it, then why not using it if it's looking great? But music, I mean, I sat here months, sung the songs, and I can really prove that my vocal cords, I used my vocal cords for this. And yeah, you can tell. No, would never use AI music. I hate it. It's destroying everything.
Well, for the next question, I used AI to generate the next question.
Oh.
So, because I've been playing around with it, and I asked it to give me 10 questions to ask RALF Sheepers of Primal Fear, and most of the questions were terrible. But
ChatGPT.
I used Grok on this one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So here's the question. You could tell it was AI generated. You collaborated with many talented musicians over the years. Are there any dream collaborations, past or present, that you'd love to explore, either with Primal Fear or as a solo project?
Well, the good thing is I've done that in the past. And of course, yeah, I mean, my heroes One is not living anymore, right? James Steele, rest in peace. And of course, Rob Halford would be dream. Yeah, why not? Always. And yeah, so it's easy to answer. It's my. They gave me the inspirations back in the day in the 80s, and they're somehow responsible that I took this career. So it would be a grateful collaboration to me if I would sing a duet with him or so, you know.
I can't believe it hasn't happened yet. I mean, you play with practically everybody. I can't believe the Rob Halford thing hasn't happened yet. And you sort of have a tie to that British heavy metal thing, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Well, let's make it happen. We'll get Rob Halford and we'll make the celebration happen, right?
We're also busy, yeah.
Now, leading up to the new album, there was a little bit of chaos in the band, which happens with all bands. You had some members depart, and you've got new members in the band. So, what was the departing members leaving a surprise to everyone else, or was kind of the writing on the wall before it happened?
Yes, it was a writing on the wall, and it was not departing. One guy got fired because he couldn't get along anymore with the other guy. I was in between, and it looks like I'm the idiot because, you know, 3 people left. One was a substitute for Matt anyway for bass playing, but of course we were on the road together, and it looks stupid if 5 people are leaving and I'm leaving RALF SCHEEPERS, so to speak. But it was not the case. We got along, but in the end, I had to decide, and I decided for my friend Matt Sinner, who's back on the road now again with us, and I decided for the company Primal Fear, and of course my heart composing this style of music. And that's only in this constellation, it's only that working that way. That's my opinion about it. It's Matt and Magnus and me, and of course, like I said before, everybody's invited, but I think we're somehow the kernel, and that's what I didn't want to miss. And of course, I always wanted to come back with Matt on stage as well, which would have happened with the old team as well. But because bass player, like I said, always considered himself as a substitute, but it was not possible anymore in between 2 guys. So the other guitarist, Tom, decided to go with the other guy, with Alex. I can tell the names. And Michael also, because they had this team in Rock With Classic they played, and they want to stick together somehow, creating their own kind of music. So we'll see what's coming up there. It's quite quiet these days.
All right. You have a new guitarist in Talia Bella and a new drummer, Andre Hilgers. How did you end up recruiting them into Primal Fear?
On Andre, it was very easy because he was replacing Michael anyway when he was ill last year. So he replaced them on the tour. And that was an easy decision because he's always a long time fan of the band. And he used to play in Rage, a great drummer and everything. So it was somehow clear that he's going to be the drummer for us. And for Talia, I met her in Lupul of the Rock, where we're going to play next week, coincidentally. But that was 2 years ago. I played with Gamma Ray and got to know her. We talked a lot. We chatted. And I was never somehow thinking about that we have to replace the team because that happened afterwards. So I got her in mind and checked out her online stuff. And I liked what she did. And then we asked her. She committed, or what do you say? Yeah. And so we rehearsed together, and we saw that was really a good choice. And we did the first shows together, the last 2 shows, and you can really tell this is working so great because everybody's so positive, everybody's so happy to be there and play the songs. So that's really great. So it was a great decision to have Talia. They were not able to compose because they came late. The album was likely written, and but they composed. I mean, Talia did her own solos. She worked out her solos. Andre totally got his drumming, his own style in it. We recorded the songs with AI, with drum computer. That's maybe AI, but we never would use it on the album. So that's why Andre had his own arrangements then on the album as a drummer. And yeah, that's how we worked, and it worked out great. So we were lucky. It was, of course, a bummer for me personally with the other guys, but in the end, it was not my decision. 2 guys, like I said, couldn't get along, and I was in between, and I decided for Primal Fear.
Your longtime collaborating guitarist Magnus Karlsson was in semi-retirement. You had to pull him out of retirement to bring him back into the live band. Did it take a lot of convincing?
No, it was the other way around. He always wanted to come back with us playing live, but the other guys didn't want it. I mean, he was responsible for raising 2 kids, and the kids are grown up now, so to speak. And his wife got this job, and she couldn't take care so much of the kids, so it was his duty. But he wanted to come back for years, and the other guys didn't want to have a 3-piece, so it was easy not convincing him. So somehow we were lucky to have him back, and he was also lucky to be on the road with us again, or even the 2 shows now and in September on the road.
And you're currently doing the European festival circuit. You've done Rock and Rotheim and Rockhar's Open Air. You mentioned briefly that it was good kind of bringing the new version of the band together. How was the reaction from the crowds?
Great. It was really great. And it was also for us, it was something else on stage. I mean, you can imagine I have changed entire team, although I always wanted to have Matt back. But in the end, it was really refreshing. It was great. Direction was great. Rockharz, they really enjoyed everything, also in Rock and Rotheim. And we stripped down this year a little bit with festivals. We take it easy because we're doing this tour in September, and it's always distracting. If you do so many festivals, people might say, I saw them on this or that festival, so I won't get a ticket. So it's taking away tickets. So that's the reason why we don't have so many summer festivals this year, but next year is going to be loads of festival to play.
Now, this September tour is the Domination Tour 2025. You guys are booked to do 21 shows in 29 days. That's setting quite the pace for yourselves when a lot of veteran bands are just doing the weekend thing.
I would love to do that too, but it's an economical decision as well. You just imagine such a nightliner is always taken away. It's always eating you up in terms of costs. So you have to have it like really 3.5 or 4 weeks booked. You can't do this every weekend because you always have to swap companies or whatever, or change companies. It's not so easy to schedule or plan a tour. But of course, other people can do it as well, and I would be a fan as well. So, but then a tour would take maybe a year, which would be easy for me. Then, as a vocalist, it would be more relaxing. But hey, there's other bands who are touring the entire year, so let's go for it. It's a challenge.
You have opening act Elaine on the bill. Have you played with or heard this band before?
No, it's the first time, but of course you follow them on the socials and you hear them, and it's quite convincing what they do, and we're looking forward.
Fantastic band. I've had them on the podcast. Great couple of, I had the guitar player and the singer, both phenomenal people.
Yeah. I will get to know them personally then in a month or two. So, but I can already tell, you can see on socials how people are, you know.
Absolutely. What are the chances of Primal Fear in the USA?
That's a big one. I mean, it's not getting easier, as you know. I'm saying this once, always again and again, it's not so easy to get the working visas. You got to get some lawyers to get the working visas before you put one foot on the soil in America, and then you don't even know that you're going through border control. Even with the prior costs, you have to get a lawyer, you got to go to the embassy, you got to get a social security number, you got to pay city tax, this tax, that tax. So if you go in there, you have to go like 3 or 4 months, and then you're totally done. And you don't even know if you come home bankrupt or break even or whatever. So it's not only about the costs, but it's also, just imagine we have now Tadia and the band, who is half Italian and Cuban. I think there's going to be some problems maybe at the embassy, at the border control or whatever. And also Matt is not on a health level that he could do somehow like a 2 months or 3 months tour. But hey, he's really on a good path. Step by step, he did the last 2 shows now, and we're really happy. And he's a brave guy and a strong man that he's back on that stage. And now the next step is the tour in September. And next year we're gonna do the second leg of the European tour, and then it's gonna be South America. And I would never say never USA, so I'm always open. But let's see how things are developing. It's not so easy anymore, and I think I'm not the only guy saying that as a European band. The American bands, they can just come without any problem and play, but we have really big problems to go there.
I've never read anything official, but you mentioned a couple times Matt Sinner's health. Is he dealing with cancer treatments?
No, he had this really serious heart attack after the first vaccine shot.
Oh.
And yeah, he was like 2 years in the hospital and was twice dead. And they brought him back. And it's a miracle that this man is standing on stage again. And that was his big goal. So he always wanted to go, let me at least do one show. And now he's coming back for entire shows and tours. And he's really working a lot to come back. I mean, it's never going to be like it was, but at least 70-80% would be nice. And he's on a good path. He's at 50 now. Let's talk about percentages. And he might come back to 70, and that's very good. He can't jump around like a 25-year-old kid anymore, and I can't either. So,
well, it's good that things are moving in a positive direction, and obviously, doing what you're passionate about helps with the healing process.
Absolutely, that's true.
It's been about almost 15 years since your last solo album, Sheepers. It came out in 2011. Do you have any aspirations of doing a follow-up album at some point?
Not at this point. I mean, I have a lot of ideas collected on my hard disk, and never say never, but at the moment this priority is of course Primal Fear and my focus. And we will see what happens, but there's no deal at the moment anyway. Would be also an easy thing, but I'm not even thinking about it right now, really, George.
You lend your voice to plenty of projects throughout the years. Are you working on anything now that you could talk about?
Yeah, I had this German project called Mistopera and with German lyrics, and I do several stuff as a guest musician here and there, South American band, Belgian bands, and so forth, or even only projects, because this is all I offer my voice, and whenever I like a song, I'm very open to sing this, So, and just recently, 2 days ago, I sung a song for a project, and yeah, whenever I like the song, it's I do it. I switch on the mic and sing it, and of course, it fills my fridge.
Have you gotten some really bad songs that you're like, yeah, I can't do this one. Sorry, guys.
Yes. Yes, I had this.
Well, Ralph, those are all the questions I have for you today. The new Primal Fear album is Domination. Comes out on September 5th through Reigning Phoenix Music. Another great album by Primal Fear. I wish you the best of luck with it, and I want to thank you for taking the time to talk more about it today.
Thank you very much for having me, George, and have a fantastic day over there.